Two more days to Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 2 more days to Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Real Sharks Podcast. Happy Halloween. It is your host, Rob, with Steve and Luke.
What up?
And thank you for rocking out with us on this All Hallows Eve special. We're going to be kind of freestyling a little bit tonight. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite and worst horror movies. Kind of just kicking the beach ball around because we didn't really have a plan coming on the show. You know, as everyone knows, Rob does double work on the Pod Nation TV network. So, yeah, you know, I really didn't have too much of to go on, but I thought we could kick it off by talking about some. It's Halloween, you know, so I thought we could talk about some fun stuff. You know, a movie I know we've always wanted to touch base on. We never really got a chance to talk about it, and we kind of did a little bit when we were doing our Simpsons special, which is why I wanted to talk about it right now, which is Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, man.
The Birds.
The 1963. Okay, we saw the Simpsons one. Yeah. Luke, have you personally ever watched The Birds?
It's a bit forever, but I remember it vaguely.
Yeah.
I just, it's kind of it's a wild film.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of everywhere. Yeah. Like, I haven't seen it in quite a long time.
Really?
In fact,
I saw it like last week.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just remember it's a lot of like rotoscoping birds and people like, oh God, help me! And then of course the famous part where they walk out with all the birds like sitting there looking at them, which was chimed back to in the Simpsons special. So I thought that was really really funny. But for those of you who have never seen The Birds, it's actually from 1963. It's an Alfred Hitchcock film. Starred Melanie Daniels, Rod Taylor. In the San Francisco pet store, they decide to follow him home. She brings with her a gift of 2 lovebirds. They strike up romance, but one day birds start attacking children at Mitch's sister's party, and a huge assault starts on the town by attacking birds. Apparently, this is actually based on a true story that Alfred Hitchcock wrote about some seaside town that was essentially attacked by birds. And I've actually heard this. I've heard this happen before too. Like, birds attacking people usually because they're around. It's usually around nesting season and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It looks like it was inspired by a seaside town in Capitola, California, on August 18th, 1961. Residents awoke to the scene that seemed straight out of a horror film. Hordes of seabirds were dive-bombing their homes, crashing into cars, spewing half-digested anchovies onto lawns. That part seems kind of irrelevant, but I guess it's they're just throwing up on top of it. I don't know. I mean, how scary is this? I mean, did you first of all, did you guys know there's a sequel to this?
No, is there?
They actually made a sequel to The Birds. It's called The Birds 2, of course. Wouldn't that be great?
Hitchcock.
Wouldn't that be great if it was the bird is the word? That would be a fucking amazing.
The Birds 2, the bird is the word.
The bird is the word. But this is actually called The Birds 2 Land's End. And from what the synopsis is, killer birds infest the seaside town where parents take their children for a vacation. You know what this one seemed like to me, Steve? Another one where it didn't directly look like it, but it looked like Sci-Fi got a hold of this one and was like, "Hey, you know what? Let's do a sequel because it is a TV movie."
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, definitely. I never seen that one, but I do know that there are riffs on The Birds, something like that. I don't know if you guys remember that 1990s movie starring Lou Diamond Phillips called Bats, that were just basically birds but with bats. They did recently. I know there was like a trio of bad movies called Birdemic.
Yeah,
It's like-
dude. Oh gosh, when was? I think Birdemic was like. I think Birdemic. I was in college when that came out. That's
Yeah, it was
that's more
like,
than a decade old.
oh yeah, oh my gosh, wow, that's crazy
Yeah.
to think.
Yeah, Birdemic was like a decade. Holy fuck.
Wow, wow, dude, that's crazy. To think
Yeah,
about.
Yeah.
I don't know, but is it funny? Is it a funny movie? Like, is it? Okay, so if this movie was to come
Dude.
out now and you were to take it at face value, birds
At face
attacking
value?
people, would it come off as stupid or would it come off as legit horror?
I mean,
I mean, what if it was like some condors, you know, just, like,
Okay,
just tearing
yeah,
people's
that would be-
faces off?
if it was if it was birds of prey or whatever, that would be different. I think that'd be, or if it was all birds, then yeah, I can see that.
Like that. You guys
Uh,
seen that Lone Eagle commercial when he's like, "What do we need? We need an investment." It's like, call Lone Eagle, and that bird comes, the eagle comes, it's like and starts attacking everyone. They're like, "Lone Eagle, why?" That's how that movie should start.
It's kind of like this film. It's kind of
Yeah.
weird that the birds have like I don't know, they have like a vendetta against people because they intentionally attack like children. They wait until they're all like in that house and then like attack different quadrants of the house to get in. So it's like they're thinking, which is kind
I
of like the
always
scary
thought,
part.
and hit me back if I'm wrong, guys. And I've never heard anyone make this connection. So this is a Rob special, okay? And you know, I get freaky on the Rob specials. But anyway, what I'm trying to go at here is, you know what the birds always kind of reminded me of, and vice versa with this movie, is The Happening.
Oh,
M. Night
yeah.
Shyamalan's The Happening. This movie,
I was gonna
like,
I was gonna invoke that, and there are two movies, but you keep going. I have two movies in reference to birds.
no, that's mine, is The Happening.
Why?
Okay.
Why though?
Because, you know, it's like something small like birds, you know, same thing with plants, and you know, it kind of comes off both subjects kind of come off as like, oh, birds killing people, plants killing people, you know.
Yeah,
I see.
exactly. Yeah, like my other thought was like, there's Cocaine Bear too, which is the flip side where it's
Two?
not all humorous. I think today, I think if you did birds today, they would insist that it has to be something like The Happening, which has to have a very on the nose message, versus Hitchcock's birds, which you can like extrapolate, like what he was perhaps saying. You know, he was talking about the pushback of nature on humanity. I think if you were to do it now, like you couldn't trust the audience to just be okay with birds. You know,
I agree.
like,
Right.
I think
yeah.
I think you would,
I
you'd have to
100%
be, like,
agree with that.
you'd have to have some sort of like, you know, ulterior thing, like, oh, the birds are doing this because of this, which would be some sort of environmental message. There would have to be some sort of excuse. You couldn't just have a movie where like there's a small beach town and then birds show up and start killing people. Like you couldn't just do that. People would be like, well, what's the point of that? They'd be all weird about
So,
it. But
so check this out. You want
that's
to hear
that's my thought.
you want to hear a weird review of it? So when the birds came out, and this is kind of chiming back to what you were talking about, Luke. So one of the one of the guys who reviewed it says his name was Crowther. He was unsure whether birds was meant to be allegory because it isn't in Mr. Hitchcock's style to inject allegorical meaning or social significance in his films, but he suggested that they could represent the furies of Greek mythology who pursued the wicked upon the earth. I'm like, wow, you took that from this film? That's
I don't know
heavy.
how you're getting Greek
That's
mythology
heavy.
from birds, but I mean,
Hey,
to each their own. But I think that
that's
kind of
like
goes hand in hand. of
that's
what
like saying,
Luke is
did you see
saying.
Hercules? It was Cocaine Bear, man.
I know, right, dude? It's just like any allegory you could think of that pops in your head, and that's why I think like Luke is like right on the money with that, because nobody's just gonna take a face value movie anymore and then like just something called The Birds, and it's
The birds
about
would have
birds
to be on
attacking.
cocaine, or they'd have
Yeah.
to be like
It would have to be something
Cocaine bird?
dumb.
Yeah, cocaine birds. I like that.
they'd have to have some kind of catalyst to make them mad. It couldn't be just
them
this
mad.
idea of, you know, they're pissed off at people, because that's what they tried to do with The Happening with plants, and it didn't work.
Yeah, and this movie is played very straight. There's like a love story going on. There's like
Right.
things going on with the human beings, which makes it. I guess more scary because it's like,
How did you guys meet,
everything is-
Martha? Oh, we
Yeah.
met during the bird attack of
The bird-
1963.
Yeah, the birds, and then like I don't know if you guys remember the sounds the birds are making are like yeah, they're like yeah, it's crazy. And there would have to be a lot more gore, a lot more CGI, a lot more going on than
They'd
something
have to have a
realistic.
scene kind of like the Mummy where they're running and all of a sudden there's like a sea of birds that just kind of swipe through and then they just end up being bones. You'd have to
Oh,
see
yeah.
Or you guys remember that scene from the Omen where that lady's like running on the side of the road and the bird like pecks her eyes out. She's like, ah! It would have to be like that, but like constant, like one of
Wicker
them-
Man scenes with crows, all kinds of stuff, bro.
Yeah. Oh, the Wicker Man is a good example. Yeah, I would say Wicker Man would be a good because I think if you did, that's the flip side. I think if you played it straight, it would be too stupid.
Yeah,
it would.
that's what I'm
You'd be
saying.
like, what? Yeah,
Because Wicker Man
Yeah,
is
I
just
think-
Burning Man, but a horror, you know?
yeah.
Well, it is. All right, let's move on to
Yeah.
another horror I want to get into. This one I think we've spoken about it, kind of like reminiscing, but we've never really kind of dove into it for fun. A movie that I've really come to enjoy more and more is The Mist, guys. Oh yeah, the movie The Mist from 2007, of course, directed by
Yeah.
Frank Darabont. It was done written by Frank Darabont. He's the guy who adapts a lot of Stephen King's films. Of course, this is a Stephen King short story entitled The Mist. This one starred our man Thomas Jane, Marcia Gay Harden, Laurie Holden, Andre Braugher, Toby Jones, of course, Mr. In Everything, and
Yeah.
William Sadler. The story of a storm that takes out power in a main town, and basically a mist descends on the town, and there's basically creatures in the mist, but that's not the whole story. The real horror story is what's taking place with the survivors inside a marketplace, where they're all starting to kind of lose their mind and starting to follow like a cult-like atmosphere.
Yeah.
So I like this movie, guys. This movie has grown on me over the years. When it first came out, Luke, do you remember when this movie first came out? It got a lot of shit. It got a lot of
It
shit
did.
when it first,
Yeah.
because everyone was like, "Oh, it's about a stupid giant big spider," and we were like, "What? That's not what the movie's
What?
about."
What?
Yeah, that's what a lot of people told me and Luke, is that it's about a giant spider. Like, and it was like that's clearly not what the movie's
You
about.
see the
But
movie.
okay. I mean, let's just go around the table here. Let's go around the opposite way. Steve, do you like The Mist or do you not like The Mist?
I love The Mist. I don't just like it. I love it. I thought it was great at the time, dude. I was like, wow, is this the best Stephen King movie I've ever seen? It's probably is still to this day.
Hey,
up there.
what about It and Dreamcatcher, man? All
Yeah.
bounce and no play, Mr. Gary.
Or The Green Mile. No one brings that up.
Yeah, no one brings that up. But
Yeah.
this is a good movie though. Best
This
horror
is-
film.
Dude, it's so cool. And then like the whole thing taking place, which I just like, it blows your mind. It takes place in like 2 or 3 days. So they go crazy in like such a short span, dude. And you think it's longer because there's no passage of time because of the mist. So they're just like in there, just slowly turning mad in like 2 days. It's crazy.
What'd you think of The Mist, Luke?
But as we're getting Luke back on,
Yeah.
back to the mist, dude. I'm just thinking about it. Like you brung up that whole thing. It's about a big spider, and I go,
Well,
we
there's
saw
that
a
one
big spider for
scene.
2 seconds, maybe.
Well,
we saw
there's-
spiders.
We saw spiders, but everyone thinks that whole tentacle monster was somehow kind of was a spider thing. Let me
we
see
don't know
here.
what the hell it was.
Oh, hold on. Give me just a sec here. We're gonna get Luke back on, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. See if we can get him back on. But yeah, no, I actually really did enjoy the film myself because what I really, really like about The Mist is I love the atmosphere of it.
Yes.
Which is something that really I think it's hard to capture nowadays, especially to keep you kind of involved in it, because the you wonder what's in the mist yourself. You're looking at everything from these main characters, watching it all unfold, but
Right.
yourself, you're like, I wonder what's out there.
right.
It's one of those mystery kind of films that I really enjoy, and I love the religious angle to it.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that is one of the greatest, like, like angles to a book, movie, whatever you want to call it.
Because
ever.
that's super real.
Super
obviously.
realistic.
That's like,
Yeah.
whoa, jeez, I'll go right into the mist. I don't care
Yeah.
what is out there. I will take my chances, just like that lady in the beginning.
Okay, we also
Yep.
that was her first scene ever. Of course, that's oh my god, help me out, guys. That's the girl from Walking
Walking
Dead.
Dead.
Right?
A lot of Walking
Yep.
Dead people in this film.
Yep,
because of
Jeffrey
the-
Dummon is in there.
yeah,
Let's see here. Yeah, he was in there. Oh, Melissa McBride is
yeah,
the
Jeffrey,
is the
yeah,
one.
Jeffrey McDunn, yeah, who plays Dale, I believe.
Yep.
Uh,
Melissa McBride was in there for that moment when she's the one that was like, "Can anybody see a woman home?" That was such a
Yeah.
memorable scene.
She's like, "Screw you guys," just walks
Yeah.
out.
But of course, spoilers,
Yeah.
everybody. What is the best is when at the end is she's one of the only people that survived the whole ordeal.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I love that. That great irony of that is if they'd just gone with her, they probably would have lived.
So,
Yeah,
Luke,
and then
what do you
she's
think about
staring
this?
at him too.
Before we lost
Yeah.
you, Luke, we were asking you, what did you think about the Mist?
I love The Mist. I really do. One of the best, and of course, on the record, Stephen King saying that the movie ending was better than the book ending.
He wished he
Right.
could have wrote that, right?
She
Yeah.
could have wrote it. That's crazy.
Wish you wrote it that way. Which I get. I will say this: I love the ending. I do think that there was a staginess to it. For those of you who don't know, I guess at this point, well, anyway, the ending though, because I love it, but there is a feeling that they really were trying to get there.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel 100% organic, but
Oh,
I'm glad they
Russian,
did
but-
either way.
Thomas Jane's performance though was amazing in it.
Oh yeah, it was so good.
So
Yeah, I think that's one of the great tragedies of Hollywood that Thomas Jane didn't go anywhere. He is a great actor, and
yeah.
I don't know. I would
I-
He
disagree.
had,
Thomas
a little
Jane's-
bit of a run.
Thomas
Yeah.
Jane's got a good career behind him. I mean,
okay, I think he should be bigger. That's my thought. I think
I'll
he
give you
should
that.
Got
be
over
bigger.
that. Yeah, he never really got over.
Yeah, I think, but yeah, I would say another thing. Oh, my big criticism is that I really wish that they maybe would have toned down the CGI monsters,
Okay.
because at the time I remember people complaining that the monsters weren't really good, and I didn't really care because I thought the tone and the filming
they have
did
kind
for
of
it.
aged a little poorly.
If you watch it in 27, it's real it's
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
and
I'll give you that.
I think this is the kind of movie where that old show, where it's show less would have really worked if we just didn't see enough of the monsters. I think there was enough actually terrifying stuff that that either happened off screen or we saw the results of that we could have done without showing any monsters besides vague silhouettes in the mist. That would be
Yeah,
enough.
I think that would be a lot because, well, I will give it the film credit that every single time we do see a monster, it's a new monster. Whether it be kind of
That's
those the bird things with the
Yeah, I like the-
mosquitoes, spiders.
I like that there was variety. I thought that
there's
was
a
cool.
variety,
I
like
thought that was
every
cool.
single scene, and it ramps up too. They get bigger. I don't know if you guys noticed.
I
Every
always-
monster got the scale went larger.
I always thought this was funny because did you guys ever play Half-Life?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Half-Life came out in 1998. Remember what that game was about? Was about scientists trying to peer into the other side of a dimension,
Yeah.
and the aliens come out.
Come
I
on.
always thought the Mist and Half-Life were so very, very much connected because
right.
Yeah.
Half-Life came out in 1998. I just want to point that out.
Mhm.
And it's kind of the same story, you know.
Same, and the military being involved,
Military, yeah.
Which is the
Yeah.
screwed up thing of all time because you looking
They
at it
sacrificed that dude.
oh,
They
dude,
straight
I
up
know, man. I was
Yeah.
like, dang, dude, why
crowd surf his ass to the Rancor pit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was
And she was
great.
like, throw him out. It was just
Throw him!
every single one of those guys got just obliterated between him, the black guy getting it the worst, the black military guy who's just
Yeah.
he had the spiders inside him. That's the scene. I think.
It was our fault. It was
Yeah,
our fault.
Yeah. Why would you admit guilt after you're
Right.
just
right.
like,
Not
You're
not
dead,
not
dude,
tell
like-
my family. Tell my family I didn't die this way. Ugh.
yeah. Yeah. Tell my
Yeah.
dad cool. Ugh.
Tell my dad cool. Why did the show fail?
Because this, like, I think Luke was right. It's the scale. They everything is big. So instead of it being a supermarket, from what I can remember, it was a mall, and it had a lot of characters, and they
Yeah.
try to expand on those characters, which you don't really need in that Mist. Like, you didn't
And
know
they didn't pay
anybody
attention to the horror. There was hardly
yeah,
any
I-
aspect of
no
horror in
horror,
it.
nothing.
Here's the the thing about The Mist is that it's already pushing it as a movie, which is why it's so good, because it's the exact same, it's the exact length the movie like this should be. It should be a movie length. The characters are there in service of the story. We don't need to know anything else
Anybody
about them.
else.
We just need to know about how they're effective. We're in, we're out, they're dead. We don't care about the Mist
care.
lore.
The Shermanator!
We don't care.
care
Yeah,
about-
Shermanator.
There's no Mist Origins, Mist Requiem.
Right.
Just there's
Yeah.
no Mistiverse. Like it's a
Miss Darkly.
boom.
Yeah, Mist of the third
Exactly.
kind. You're like just telling
Mist
It's-
of the third kind. Mist
like
the
this-
Mist Rising.
Yeah, exactly. The Mist Rising. Yeah. Like, we don't need that. It's a movie, and if anything,
Mist,
it could
the
have been
Unexpected
an
Journey.
episode of Black.
Oh no, I think we lost Luke again.
Oh.
Oh no.
But
Uh,
it's so funny now that you guys are on that riff. I just thought of E.T. popping out of the rift, going like, he's gonna save us. It's
E.T..
him. Do you see the glow? Follow the glow in the mist. It's E.T. he's
just E.T. pops out like, what's up? And all of a sudden just gets taken out by one of those things.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go ahead and take our first break and see if we can get Luke back, everybody. And we'll be right back on this Real Shark spooky episode.
Mommy, where are we gonna sit?
Well, Daddy booked the rental car. Let's ask him. Hun?
It'll work. What did I say?
What did you say, Dad?
Let's just check Discover Cars.
Get more for your money with discovercars.com and save up to 70% on car rentals.
Everybody, and welcome back to the Real Sharks podcast. Thank you for joining us from our commercial break on Pod Nation TV, and make sure you stick around for all the podcasts on Pod Nation TV. And again, happy Halloween, everybody. So I thought, and I'm real heated about this one because I do not understand why one of my co-hosts likes this film. I think he's just trolling me with it, and it's really, yeah, I think he is because it's fucking ridiculous. I want to talk about Halloween 3. And let me tell you how this unpacked too. I was actually talking to somebody about Halloween 3, and they go, they're like, "Oh well, God, Jamie Lee Curtis in that one." And I'm like, "Do you even know what Halloween 3 was about?" "Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis," and I'm like, "No,
way.
that's not what Halloween 3 was about." And I was like, Halloween 3 was about this fucking corrupt company and this guy investigating them, and basically they're like trying to fry kids' brains or something with this commercial or.
Yeah. It's about Stonehenge.
Yeah.
It's about
Or something.
crazy Irishmen. It's about retired police officers sleeping with almost underage women. It's about robots.
Okay, so a hospital emergency room, Dr. Dan Chalice, Tom Atkins, by the way, and Emily Grimbridge, Stacey Nelkin, the daughter of a murder victim, uncover a terrible plot by a small town mask maker. A madman who's planning a Halloween mass murder, utilizing oh my God, I'm not even lying when I'm reading this, a Celtic ritual. The ritual involves boulders stolen from Stonehenge, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna quit right there.
Dude, you didn't even say it's really called, as he says in the film, he's like the Festival of Samhain or something like that.
And
It's something crazy, dude.
Dude, this film is
awesome.
borderline, like, for me, a brain aneurysm. I don't get it.
Aw.
I don't get it. I don't
That's
see
smart.
the point of it. I don't see the point of it. I never saw the point of it. In fact,
Yeah.
as you know, I'm not even
Well-
a Halloween fan. And when I
Yeah.
first watched them all, and I was going through them all, the marathon, I popped this one, and I was like,
Just staring at it.
"Did I miss something? Like, did something happen? Like, did I put in? Is
Yeah.
this the wrong movie?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a fun little piece of trivia. You like that always gets bandied around. That this movie was actually
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh God! Hold on.
It's the spirits. They don't want Luke talking.
They don't
about
want
this
Luke
film,
talking
man.
right
They
now.
don't want him bad mouthing this
They
great
don't-
masterpiece of a Halloween
Oh
film.
my God! Shut up! It is not a fucking okay. I want to get Luke's take on this because God,
Yeah, gotta get it, dude, because you know my take already.
I know what your take is. It's dumb.
I love it, dude.
It's a dumb take. It's a dumb take. I'm sorry. This is like one of the worst times I ever like disagree with you on
Yeah.
anything. It's
And really
this is,
bad.
this is one of those times because I don't understand this movie. I don't understand the concept. I don't understand the plot. It's like okay,
Dude,
why?
It's so out there that it doesn't make any sense. So much to the point that I love it so much that it does make sense in the end.
So if that's what you're going for, I'll give you that one, I guess. But for the most part, I don't. Hey, Luke, are you there? You there, buddy?
good lord, fucking my computers are not doing well today. Yes, fucking hell.
All right, Luke, I want to get your point though, quick though, because Steve is just basically like loving on this film. So please give us your take on Halloween 3.
Well, yeah, Halloween 3. As I said, this was originally John Carpenter. This is a real vision for the Halloween series. He had envisioned it as an anthology series that took place during Halloween.
Yeah.
So the first players was just going to be, this is just the first one was going to be straightforward. This is a story about a girl who's getting terrorized by a mass killer. Next movie would be something else set around Halloween. That was the original idea. However, first movie, super huge hit. People were like, well, you got to do more Mike Myers. This guy rules. This guy fucking rules. So 2 comes along, tries to kill Mike Myers. And then for the third one, he's like, okay, let's do what I originally wanted. Let's do what I want to do.
Yes.
He was like, I want to do a movie about just like we saw. Anthol is going to be its own thing. And then everybody hated it because guess what? Everybody wanted Mike Myers.
Mhm.
Everybody, like, that's the goods, John Carpenter. Like, John Carpenter. But here's the thing. I will say it's not a great movie, but if you take it on those merits of the idea, it's not supposed to be related to Mike Myers. It's not supposed to be related.
It's still a
Just take
stupid
it.
movie.
Well, yeah, but the other movies weren't super smart.
Right. I
The
mean,
Hall-
come on, man.
The Halloween series is not a particularly cerebral series of films. And even before Rob Zombie got his hands on it.
Oh,
Like,
jeez. Oh, yeah. Do you
Why
guys
do you
like
say
Halloween
that?
5?
I thought I actually think his remake of the first Halloween he did I thought was good.
okay.
I
mean,
Is that all
I'm
I
not
get?
saying I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying like some of these like they're all kind of dumb.
Well, yeah, I'm on
Yeah.
that side, but
Yeah.
we're not talking about the other ones here, Luke. We're talking about Halloween 3.
Talk about the
goddammit.
greatest one, okay?
Shut
Yeah.
the fuck up, Steve. It is not the greatest one of all time. I don't get that. I just don't get
Dude,
it.
I don't know why you guys don't like androids for no reason in a Halloween.
Right.
That is
Wait,
like so amazing.
And was she an android before or after he had
Dude,
sex
I've
with
been
her?
asking that question for like 15 years. And
And
every
why
single
did she?
time I watch
and
it
was
every
it,
year,
and was it
never
bad
makes sense.
because she turned on him after the fact?
After the fact? So when did she turn into one? It's never explained. Why? How did she even turn into one?
Dong turned her into an android.
Right. Oh my god. Which is so that's the whole thing about Tom Atkins was like I forget what he was like in his mid or late 40s when this film came out, and the actress who played his love interest, which by the way, he's married in the film. He's married with kids, and he's just like drunk all the time. He's like, I'm gonna go investigate, this murder. You're
Do you hear
he's
the
a
love,
doctor.
ladies and gentlemen, that my co-host has for this goddamn
Dude,
movie? It's
This film
ridiculous.
is so crazy to have a madman, this Irish madman, who for some I don't know how he even got a piece of Stonehenge, but then having it, and then the Stonehenge, Rob, is somehow linked. And as a kid, I thought it was aliens because I'm like, why does it have powers, dude? Why does Stonehenge have powers? No, there's no explanation as why that's happening. And then all of a sudden, he's like, I'm gonna make masks that go onto kids' heads
That
and-
melt their fucking heads.
that melts their heads in front of their parents.
Not
and
just that, but turns them into like crickets and
crickets and snakes
bugs
and,
and
yeah, it's like screwed up and it's like really really
the
messed up.
science just gets it baffles me.
Dude, it makes no sense, but I love it even more. And then like the theme. How do you not remember
Do you hear this
the
shit, Luke?
Silver Shamrock theme that appears? Dude, you even know it. Come on, bro. I mean,
Luke,
how do you not-
Please,
I did
back
not
me
know
up,
that.
Luke. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I will say this. I think it was a testament to the fact that they just went right back to Mike Myers.
Mike
It kind
Myers.
of just shows you the lasting power of Halloween 3.
Checkmate.
They literally call the next one the return of Mike Myers. Like he's back.
Like,
Okay,
yeah,
we're
he's
never gonna do it again.
That's actually my favorite. That's one of my favorite things about the Halloween series is that there have been like 5 direct sequels to like the first
Yeah.
movie. They've
I know,
done
dude.
so.
Yeah.
I mean, there was. I mean, that's the most recent one, right? The recent trilogies with Jamie Lee Curtis. Like,
Yeah,
those
she
were
finally
technically
killed him
supposed-
and
those
got
are
shit for using a
technically-
shotgun.
Exactly. Those are they're those movies. Those are all direct sequels of the first one anyway. So it's often the Halloween do-overs. But whatever, you know.
See, I'm gonna count that as Luke on my side. He didn't say a no to that.
Whatever. No, whatever. I'm not.
I actually like. Here's the thing. I actually kind of admire. I admire something that just like goes in a totally different direction. I think what was working against the film wasn't any notion of quality. It was just expectations. I think by the third movie, if you've established like a slash film bad guy, and this is irony because even though Mike Myers was in the third one, Jason only showed up in his third movie. The hockey match, Jason didn't show up until his third movie. It's funny the weird ways these parallel. But yeah, I feel like by the second movie, you have a clear villain that everybody's aware of, in an established world. People are going to want to go to that. And if you throw in basically starting something completely different, people are going to get mad. People are going to get mad.
Super mad.
So-
But when you want that,
so
that's like a
It's
freak show
like
movie
it's
in
like
a
if you
heartbeat.
did like a movie. You did 4 movies, right? The end with the resurrection, and everyone followed the tropes from the second movie, and then and you did a prequel called fucking Prometheus.
Okay.
It's kind of like that.
You know what? That's so funny that you
What?
bring that up because David might be one of
It's-
those
no.
androids in the third film. You never know.
Yeah. No, it's actually so Halloween 3 is even worse because at least with Prometheus there was a vague attempt to tie it back to aliens, even though it wasn't about aliens. It was like at the very end they're like, oh, I guess this might be also because of Wayland Yutani, but it's like, oh, this might be because that at least was like trying to set it in the aliens world, even though
I actually went back and rewatched it, guys, and I changed my mind on it a little bit.
Prometheus.
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I changed my
I
mind
know.
on Covenant.
It was shocking actually. So let me explain a little bit while we're here on the subject. So my view on it has changed because here's how it goes. I watched it again and I actually liked it a little bit more because I actually was like, oh cool, they actually have, and it's only because I know a little bit more about alien lore now.
Yeah.
But it went from like I fucking hate it to it's still a shit show.
Uh-huh.
So I just want everyone to know that right now. So like
So you don't
Yeah.
hate it anymore though?
I
think
don't
the-
hate it. I just despise it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm in that same boat. I think the actual storyline is completely bland and uninteresting, and in some cases nonsensical.
Yeah.
But and also they actively undercut any sense of tension in the whole movie.
Right.
They undercut the tension while still insisting that there is tension in the movie. It's a haunted house where the werewolf has his dick out. Like it's
So you get the scare. You're like, oh.
yeah, it's so
furry.
not scary. It's so not
God.
scary. Actively not scary, and it is insisting that this is a tense sci-fi. But
Right.
But all that said, I do think the engineer stuff is cool. I think
is interesting.
actually
it is cool. Yeah.
I think like it is a cool idea. I think there is something, and I think Ridley Scott talked about it or something. Maybe it was either Ridley Scott or
no, it was Ridley Scott. He talked about doing this project for a long time. It's just the way he changed his mind a lot. And you can tell the film changes its mind from wanting to be like a prequel to Alien to wanting to be like Alien itself almost. Like this is directly Alien. No, it's not Alien. Okay, this is directly connected to Alien. And that's kind of the problem with it. It's like stay in the lane of this is a direct connection to Alien. It's the beginning. Yeah. We don't have to stray away and go into all this fucking crazy nonsense. We know what the xenomorph is. Let's just get to it.
Yeah. But actually, this is what I was getting into, was that I don't know if it was a quote from Ridley Scott, but the idea of the engineers was that like, these are our gods. These are the people that created humanity. It's like, what if not only was God indifferent to you, but God may actively want to destroy you? Like that is a very lofty idea. That's a very interesting idea.
I thought the idea of death in the movie was interesting.
But then at that point you're like, all right, well, where's the alien?
Exactly.
And then you don't get it.
Like, what do we do with that? Like, what is the real threat here?
Where's
like you're talking about a dead alien race, billions of light years away. If that spaceship just blew up on the spot, we're fine. Nobody has to worry. But yeah, it was all
and I'm not gonna lie, the part that's really stupid is the very end when the engineer like gets to the door and the fucking face hugger comes out. He's like,
yeah.
Like,
that
thing off. That
why did that scene have to? I feel like the film would get a little bit more brownie points if it wasn't for that.
If it wasn't in that, I'd give it that. Too.
When you look at that, you're like, oh, dude, like really, you just fumbled the finish line.
Right there, you dropped you fumbled it right in the end zone, dude.
Or in the end zone, you're just like, I mean, like, I'm not saying it's gonna be a touchdown, but you like completely screwed it up. I remember seeing in the theater going like, oh, dude, that's.
All right, everybody, we're going to take our last break, and we'll be right back with our final topic on the Real Sharks podcast. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Real Sharks podcast. And I'm going to talk about a topic here, one that's from Disney, and two that I don't think really a lot of people really talk about. So when I was a child, I loved Fantasia. I used to pop in this movie religiously. I mean, I like the dinosaur scenes, I like the crocodiles and the hippo, the ballerina scenes. I love all that stuff. But there was always one particular song, symphony, segment I did not like as a kid, and that was Night of Bald Mountain, which came really towards the end of Fantasia. And for those of you who have never seen it, it is absolutely terrifying. First of all, it's a dark symphony, but it's over a small town in which this basically devil, demon, whatever you want to call him,
giant black demon. It's crazy.
basically resurrects the dead through the whole town.
The whole town.
And you see like some crazy scenes of people on chariots, people on horses, like, you know, skulls. And I mean, this particular Fantasia segment scared the fuck out of me. What did you guys think about this one? I mean,
it was scary. It was pretty goddamn scary. Like, it's so weird. So here's what I've always learned about trivia wise is that because it had a revival in the 60s, I think, Fantasia, and there would be events where people would like go to the movie theater on acid to watch the movie, and I'm like, what? That's a bad idea. Like,
not good.
Most of the movie, fine. Most of the movie, great to watch on acid. I get you. Go for it. You fucking dip before you get to Bald Mountain. What the fuck is wrong with you?
They meant to have it scary because it comes out of nowhere. It literally comes out of no. There's no like, okay, we warn you with this one. It's
they just introduce it like every other one.
They just go right into it. You're like, what the hell? As a kid, yeah, dude, you see the demon, and then it like Rob said, it gets worse. The demon's reveal is just like the icing on the cake.
The dancing on his hands, the demons.
The demon. One of them looks like Death, like you said, riding the chariot. That's the one when I remember. I was just like, Jesus. Like,
you hear
that's crazy. Yeah. It's like, oh my God. Is that it? And then you're just like, peeing your pants, and then it goes into another soliloquy, and the next one you're like, I'm scared now. I don't want to watch more of this.
I don't want to watch the rest of this.
Yeah. Just scare me to death.
It's kind of touched back on too throughout pop culture. I've seen it referenced a few times, but usually kind of how we're talking about it. It was like a lot of childhood nightmares, which is what this was. Because I'm serious. Like, it is graphic. Like, all of Fantasia is really fun, really bright, really colorful. And then you get to this, and man, it's I even remember like the Disney Halloween specials used to feature this. Like at the very end of them, just to scare the shit out of you. It was like, well, if Mickey Mouse and all that didn't do it to you, here you go. Here's Bald Mountain.
Yeah. That's when Disney was swinging their nuts around, man, dude. That's when they had a little bit on you.
Fantasia is a great film, and it is a great song. But now, I mean, I don't picture anything else when I hear that song.
You can. They didn't even do it for their Fantasia 2000.
Right. I was just gonna add that they didn't even do anything like that.
Yeah.
They didn't even try to cross that line.
That's a little much. It's a little much.
Do you think Fantasia was from what, 1940? So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that was their idea initially, was to go with it, or do you think it was like
it's the 40s? They didn't care, scare kids.
So
what? You got scared.
Yeah. Guess it was a different time back then. Yeah, I mean, they were like, listen, all of our kids are smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee anyway. Just
drinking coffee, going to work with me. So what? You got scared? Grow some, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
What, that scared you? Scenes of death, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because go ahead.
No, I got nothing else to say. Yeah, it's just
no. Go ahead.
Like, I feel that, like, I guess obviously old school cartoons, there was a lot more of a weird dark edge to them, obviously, because throughout all known history, animators and cartoonists are truly some of the most fucked up people on the planet.
Yes, they are.
There's just, so I think that's never changed. I think that's where it comes from. Obviously, much like the Birds, it's one of those things where that kind of thing wouldn't work today. Though I wonder if maybe it's just me, but maybe it was a sense back then that animation wasn't just for kids. So
there was that sense of trying to make it for adults too. That's where Ralph Bakshi came into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
think Looney
But I
Tunes is
also-
another way too.
But I do believe that, like, to a certain degree, perhaps even Walt Disney thought, at least in the very early days of Disney, that like, oh, this stuff is for everyone. This is not just kid stuff. This is for this is for all audiences. And obviously, eventually, people would just be like, oh, this is cartoons. This is kid shit. Which so to a degree, I think that was what I understand of Walt Disney. He had always kind of hoped that animation would be seen as something that everybody would be, and to agree, everybody does. But I think even today, it's really hard to get people on board with the idea of like animation being like for everybody. It's like it's either for kids or you don't give a shit that it's for kids.
I want to actually chime on that point about animators being really fucked up. Did you guys get that text to me, that text from me about me sending you the Rugrats drawing jam session? Did you guys?
No.
Do you guys remember that?
No.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. Let me pull this up for these guys. We'll be right back. I'm gonna send you guys something really funny. So this is
What?
fucked up. Yeah. Hold on. Welcome back, everybody, to the Real Sharks Podcast. And I'm actually about ready to show my co-host some of the most interesting drawing jam sessions I've ever seen. So this is actually real. This is from the Rugrats studio. It was smuggled out by one of the animators of the Wild Thornberries. So basically, long story short, of course, we know animators draw scenes over and over and over again. And sometimes this can be really tedious. So what they actually do is they actually have jam sessions. And what this is basically where one animator draws one scene, then he passes it along to another animator and he draws the next scene. They're allowed to do whatever they want in these sessions and not take any kind of repercussions from them, repercussions or, whatever. But what I just sent my co-host is one of the most interesting, dark things you've ever seen. I personally find it fucking hilarious. And for those of you who can't see it, we'll put it up there for you. But basically, it's a storyboard jam. And it starts out with Angelica sitting on a beanbag telling Tommy to get her a drink. And Tommy actually fills and this is only part of it. Tommy actually fills the cup with Drano and malt balls.
Oh.
And basically, as he's about to give it to Angelica, Dee Dee, of course, Tommy's mom, comes up and says, you're not to have juice before dinner. And then all of a sudden, Stu comes in and fucking whacks the shit out of Dee Dee. And he says, I quote, and this made me laugh. He goes, "You stupid bitch, Fred Flintstone is home." he points to Tommy and says, "Now give tribute to the alpha male, you freeloader, or you'll get the prune juice." And Tommy begins to shit himself and convulse and poop out milk balls. And all of a sudden, Angelica gets all hot and heavy and says, "Gee, Uncle Stu, you're so forceful. I love you." And she moans. And he says, "That's right, my little C word. One day you'll be daddy's girl." From what I understand, which is the next page, which was not published online, there's scenes of Stu having ancestral sex with Angelica right there on the storyboard.
Wow.
What are your guys' reactions to this?
Rugrats.
I don't feel good.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
You've really never seen this?
I don't think I've seen
I've
that.
never seen
episode of
this.
Rugrats.
That's so fucking wild.
That is
Yeah.
God. Animators so yeah, they are
Yeah,
a different breed.
So this was snuck out.
Go outside a little bit.
This was snuck out. And actually, I was watching a thing on this and they were talking about if you go into most of the Nickelodeon studios, you'll see a lot of the storyboards like this with the kids stuff with dicks and tits and stuff all drawn on the sides because they're drawing kid shit all the time. And so they get
ruin Doug. Don't
they get
ruin
all
Doug.
tired.
Yeah.
They get tired, I guess, and they like to just act out. But the guy from the Wild Thornberrys snuck this out and was like, "This is a little much."
Yeah, that's.
I think it's fucking great. There's some
That
parts
is-
in it that I was dying about, like when he says, "Bitch, Fred Flintstone's home."
Yeah, I mean,
That part was funny, dude.
that is.
To me, it's funny because they know that Fred Flintstone was obviously like a misogynistic kind of fucking cartoon. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean, he's like
They recognize
man
that.
for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, they recognize that. Luke, you're very quiet. Did I really ruin your childhood memories
Yeah, I
here?
know.
No, I just don't have. I got nothing else to say, man. It's just like I'm just like, oh, I'm remembering the guy who wrote Ren and Stimpy was an actual pedophile.
Yeah, he
so
was.
it's like,
Oh yeah.
like
that- yeah.
can like Nickelodeon chill like these fucking people?
That
Uh,
got
I
me.
mean, like,
That was like one of the reasons why I couldn't watch Ren and Stimpy back as a kid because of that scandal.
yeah.
For those of you who don't know, the scandal actually goes is that the original creator of Ren and Stimpy actually had a 16-year-old girlfriend that he was sleeping with and would share video pictures of him getting oral sex from her, and it was known through actually the whole company for a long time. So for those of you that don't know that story, there's a summary of it. So Nickelodeon actually knew what was going on and let it happen.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So
Because they let this shit happen. Holy shit.
I know. Dude,
I can't
this is-
believe you get. This is why you guys need to pick up my Texas more.
Yeah, this is.
I
I
don't
like
know
to
if this-
preserve my
I
child
don't know.
a
I
little
don't think how
bit.
this encourages that, but all right.
I was like, Luke, look at this, destroying your childhood.
Oh God, that's just. Wow, that's.
It is disturbing. It is disturbing, but it's.
But
I
it
think
goes
it's
back
fun.
on the. I
I
think
mean,
it goes
it's
back to
you know
the,
what?
the thing.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It is funny. It's funny as hell.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you can't deny. Like, I mean, come on, dude. These animators just going wild like this in the studio.
It's fun. It's funny too because Stu Pickles is like not that type of husband. He is like
No, he's like a ditz. He's, you know what I mean? He's just,
he is super like just like passive and he does not he never stands up for
Bitch!
himself. Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie. Now it makes me think of like, now who else did you do? What about like,
I want to see the rest, to be honest with you, but they
Chucky's
don't have it.
dad and
They don't have the rest of it. Oh, I know. Well, they said they did. This is like something they would all do. So this is like every single animator like taking a shot at the storyboard. So that's why it's all different.
That's why it's crazy though, because it's not like an isolated like this is one guy or girl. This
Yeah,
is like all
no,
of them
This
doing
is all
it,
of
you
them.
know?
So the next guy would pass it along, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna have fucking Stu punch this fucking bitch." You know?
And then these are the guys writing like Reptar episode for
Right.
This is crazy.
So.
Wow.
So there's a little Halloween treat for you all right
Night-
there, ruining some of your
nightmare fuel.
childhoods.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. This is going to be Rob from the Real Sharks podcast with Steve
Yo.
and Luke.
Peace, yo.
And it has been a most magnificent evening, my audience. So make sure you stay safe this Halloween. Check your candy. They might have razor blades
Or Drano apparently.
or Drano.
Oh well, did you hear about like supposedly there's like contaminated Reese's like from the factory?
Great. Now they're gonna.
There was like
use my love for peanut butter against me.
Exactly, which is I think is hilarious because it's like after everything about like worried about strangers with like poison candy, it's like no, turns out it was the factories all along.
All
The
along.
factory's putting it in there.
A rotten
Yeah.
factories.
That's
They're
even
just like
scarier.
Silver Shamrock, right, Steve?
This is,
Oh,
yeah,
dude, I
exactly.
love- Yeah, Silver Shamrock.
2 more days to Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 2 more days to Halloween, Silver Shamrock.